welcome to today's lunchtime flow. I hope you're all doing well. Always with these classes, if you have an injury or if you have anything particular that you're working with, please be careful with it. Please back off anything that feels painful, and feel free to ask any questions at the end of the class. So we're going to get started today in a child's pose. Big toes touching, knees nice and wide, and bring your forehead down onto the mat. Taking a few moments here to just start settling down into your practice, into this 45 minutes that you've carved out for yourself today. Letting go of any thoughts, any sensations that you just don't need right now. Start to engage your Ujjayi breath. Let's take a couple of big sighs to start the practice. So in through the nose, open the mouth and sigh out. Do that again, nice big breath in. Just letting any muscles, any areas that you're holding onto tension start to relax here. Keeping your body where it is, we're going to take a little shoulder stretch here. So thread your right arm underneath your left. Bring your right cheek onto the floor. Left fingertips keep reaching forwards. Really starting to notice that expansion of your stomach as you breathe. Maybe feeling it along the outer edges of your thighs. And coming back through center, let's swap sides. Left arm slots underneath that right, coming down onto the left shoulder, the left cheek. And gently come back to center. Pausing in your child's pose once more, just noticing if there's been any shift already. As you start breathing deeply, really creating that mind and body connection. On your next inhale, rolling up to all fours, tabletop. Hands below shoulders, knees are hip width apart. Let's take a few rounds of cat and cow. So inhale, drop the stomach, arch the back, lift the gaze up. Exhale as you tuck the tailbone, round the spine, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you arch, open up. And exhale to round. Keep moving like this to the speed of your own breath. And feel free to add in any other sort of twist or turn here. So any movement that just feels good in your spine and your shoulders. But keep matching whatever movement you're taking with your breath. Make sure your fingertips are spread wide on the mat. And press down with each fingertip and each knuckle pad here. Bring yourself to stillness and sit back onto your heels, coming to a seated position. If kneeling doesn't work for you, you can sit in a cross-legged position, that works too. We're going to reach the arms out in front and just open and close the fingers here. So as if you were flicking water off your hands. Really flicking the fingers open and then closing them again. Keep your Ujjayi breath strong here. And notice what's happening in the rest of your body. So don't let this tension that you're creating in the hands, the wrists, the forearms creep into any other parts of your body. Keep soft through the face. Stay with it. See if you can maybe move your hands open and close a little bit more. And then stay with it. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Keep opening and closing the hands. I'm sure all of you are starting to feel a bit of a sensation, maybe some heat building in the hands, in the forearms. Stay with it. Reach your hands back out in front of you. Keep opening and closing the hands. Last few breaths, reach back up. Take a big, big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, just let your hands float back down. Notice what's going on. Maybe take a couple of shakes, a couple of rotations with the wrists. Just feeling how the hands are feeling now. Straight away, starting to wake them back up. Make your way back onto all fours, tabletop. Tuck your toes under and just lift your knees 2 inches off the floor. Really press the earth away here. So think about that space in between the shoulder blades. Press it up towards the ceiling. Pull the tummy button in and up. Options to stay where you are, or maybe try and lift the right hand up. If your right hand is lifted, maybe try and lift the left foot up. Keep breathing. Gently come back to center. We'll go on the other side. So keeping the knees lifted in between here. Start to gently lift that left hand up. Right knee lifts. Try and keep your left knee so it's about 2 inches off the floor. Come back, keeping the knees lifted. We're going to go once more on each side. Lift the right hand up, left foot up. Maybe even extend that left leg, that right arm. Come back to center. We're going to go on the other side. So left hand lifts, right leg lifts. Maybe you straighten them. Come back to center, knees are still lifted. And gently drop the knees back down, big toes to touch, knees open wide. Coming back into your child's pose. Maybe you're getting a little bit warm already, your breath is starting to speed up. Checking in, not rushing into the practice, into the next pose. Just notice how you're feeling right now. Take a few deep breaths. Lift yourself up onto all fours. Take an inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, take a downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out the feet a little bit here, bending one knee at a time. Checking in with your foundations, your hands and your feet. Maybe even a little twist through the tailbone. Taking any movement here that feels good. Keep lifting the tailbone up. Maybe even a little bend in the knees to get access to this part of your body. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, walk your feet to your hands. Take a ragdoll at the top of your mat, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Let your head just hang heavy. It might feel nice here to take a little sway or a little bounce. And feel free to have quite a bend in the knees if that feels right today. Release your hands and on an inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing, moving slowly, reach your arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. But as you reach up, try not to flare the ribs out. So think about tucking the ribs in, keeping that core engaged, but still reaching up through the fingertips to the shoulders. Big breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step back, high plank. Pausing here. Again, thinking about that space in between the shoulder blades. Press down into the floor. Drop your knees, untuck your toes. Move slowly, come all the way down onto the mat. Peel your chest open, baby cobra. Press the tops of the feet down. Push back through your knees, downward facing dog. Just noticing how it feels to start moving your body today. Big breath in. As you exhale, walk, step, or maybe jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise up, reach tall. Exhale to fold forwards. Halfway lift. High to low plank. You can drop the knees if you're still not ready for your chaturanga. Inhale, another cobra, always upward facing dog. Open the chest. Downward facing dog. So each time we take a vinyasa, you can choose which variation you take. Full breath in. Exhale it all out, soften knees, gaze forwards, walk, step, or maybe jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise tall, reach up. Maybe a small back bend here if you're ready. Exhale, back. Lift halfway. High to low plank. No rush. Inhale brings you to an up dog or a cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just starting to take these repetitive movements to warm our body up, to focus our mind. We use these sun salutations to start the class not only for a warm-up, so getting the blood moving, also to get that mind a little bit more focused, stepping out of whatever else is going on in your day and into your practice. Big breath in. Exhale it all out, feet to hands, walk, step or float. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, rise up, reach tall. Exhale, hands together at heart center. Noticing if you're on autopilot, going straight for that forward fold. From here, bring your big toes together to touch. Bend your knees for a chair pose, reach up. Really press the weight back into the heels of the feet. See how low you can sink your hips. Keep your Ujjayi breath going here. Big breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Pull the tummy button in. Exhale, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forwards, warrior one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, moving with your own breath. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Step your left foot forwards, warrior one. Rise up tall. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And let's take another big sigh in our down dog. Big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Let it go. Let anything here right now that you don't need to just let it go. Soften knees, gaze forwards. Lightly as you can, quietly as you can, float to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold forwards. Chair pose, bend your knees, reach up. Exhale, bow. Lift halfway. High to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forwards, warrior one. Press your feet down, rise up tall. Exhale, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left foot forwards, warrior one. Low plank. Moving with your breath. Up dog, squeeze your armpits, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, downward facing dog. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit warmer, a little bit more focused. Notice what's happening to your breath. If it's starting to speed up, what can you do to slow it back down? And then notice your gaze. So another of our pillars of our yoga practice. We speak a lot about flowing our vinyasa. We speak a lot about breath, but think about your gaze. It's just as important. If your eyes are darting all over the room, what can you do to soften them back down? Keep them focused, especially when we come into longer holds. Roll yourself forwards to your high plank. Bring your feet together to touch. We're going to take a side plank. Right hand down, left arm up. Breathe here. Lift your hips as high as you can. Press the earth away. Lift your left leg And then we're going to step the left leg as slowly as softly. So bend that left knee, step the left foot to that right hand, and then spin it all the way towards the right. Place the left hand down. You're in your Skandasana. So the left knee's bent, right leg is straight, right toes are pointing forwards. Keeping the hips as low as you can. You can have your hands on the floor if you need to. We're going to spin to Skandasana at the back of the mat. For some of you, your heel is going to stay on the floor. For me, that doesn't really work. From here, Skandasana towards the top of your mat once more. If you can, keep your hands lifted off the floor as you spin into your crescent lunge. Left leg is forwards. Big breath in here. Exhale, hands to mat, high to low plank. Up dog, down dog. Let's do that on the left. So rolling forwards to a high plank, feet to touch. We're taking side plank, left hand down, right arm up. Think about squeezing the core muscles in and up. Then lift your right leg. Bend your right knee, bring it in towards the chest. As gently as you can, stepping to the top of your mat, spin both feet to the left, Skandasana, nice. You can have your hands on the floor or lifted. Keeping the hips nice and low, you're going to spin Skandasana, back of the mat. Keep breathing, right toes point up. Keeping hips low, Skandasana to the top of the mat. From here, spinning all the way into your crescent lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, take a vinyasa, high to low plank. Upward facing or cobra. You can always drop the knees. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of deep breaths here. We're going to do that again. We're going to add a little bit more onto the end. Rolling forwards, high plank. Side plank, right hand down, left arm lift. Feet are stacked on top of each other. Lift that left leg up. Moving with control, step it forwards. Spinning all the way, Skandasana at the top of your mat. Right toes pointing to the ceiling. Keeping the hips low, we move Skandasana back of the mat. Keep hips low, go back to the front. Without touching the floor, spinning all the way, crescent lunge. Hands together at heart center. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we twist to the left. Right elbow over left thigh. Press the elbow and thigh together to open the chest a little bit more here. Keep squeezing your right glute so you're not sinking down in the hips. Options to keep the hands together, maybe open them out. On an inhale, come back to your crescent lunge. Open out, warrior two. Front knee bends towards the baby toe, not the big toe. Flip your front palm and reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat, high to low plank. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Roll yourself forwards to a high plank. Feet to touch. Side plank, left hand down, right arm up. Keep squeezing the core. Lift your right leg up. You know where we're going. Bend that right knee. Step it gently to the top of the mat. Skandasana towards the left of your mat. Choose if you have your hands on the floor or drop them down. Keeping the hips low. Skandasana to the back. Right toes lift up towards the ceiling. Again, keeping the hips low. We come all the way to the front of the mat. Try not to touch the floor as you spin open crescent lunge. Hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we twist to the right. Again, choose what feels good here. Do you want to keep pressing the hands together or do you want to open the arms? Maybe that gives you a deeper twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale, warrior two. Flip your front palm and reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat. Take your vinyasa. Your variation. If you want to drop the knees, go ahead. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So in this more powerful vinyasa practice, try not to take things too seriously. It can often be a little bit messy, a little bit wobbly. Trying to find some lightness, especially if you are feeling wobbly today. Knowing that each time we step on our mat, something different is going on for us. Let's go for that once more. Roll forwards, high plank. We're going to go for side plank, right hand down, left arm up. Lift that left leg, gently step it to the top of the mat. Skandasana towards the right. Right toes lift up. Let's all try and keep our hands off the mat, hips nice and low. Skandasana towards the back of your mat. Make sure you're breathing as you move. Let's transition back to the front. Keep your hands off the floor. Crescent lunge. I'm losing it a little bit. Hands together at heart center. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, twist just for a breath this time. As you inhale, come back to your crescent lunge. We're going to add one more thing in here. Reach forwards, warrior three. Gently step it back, crescent lunge. Warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Windmill the arms to the mat. Take your vinyasa. Maybe you skip it out. Meet us straight in down dog. That's fine too. Let's roll forwards, high plank. Side plank, left hand down, right arm up. Right leg lifts. Step that right foot forward, spin all the way around, Skandasana, left toes towards the ceiling. Again, let's try no hands. Keep the hips low, moving to the back of the mat. Nice work. Let's go all the way back to the front. Toes lift, hands off the floor, crescent lunge. Feel that right glute going, hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist. Remember, just one breath here this time. Inhale, we come back to center. Exhale, we start to hinge forwards. Warrior three. Inhale, come back to your crescent lunge. Exhale, it's a warrior two. Inhale, we reverse. Windmill the arms to the mat. Take your vinyasa or skip it out, meet in a down dog. Take a few breaths here. If you need a child's pose, go ahead and take your child's pose. Two more breaths, big breath in. Exhale it out. Last one, big breath in. Wherever you are, meeting in a downward facing dog. And take a little look towards your hands. Maybe walk them slightly closer together. And then at the same time, you're going to lower both forearms all the way onto the mat. So you're in your dolphin. Roll forward so you're in your forearm high plank. So dolphin high plank. I'm getting a little bit hot today. Try not to sink down here. I'd rather you be a little bit too high than a little bit too low. We're going to really work into the shoulders. So if you've got a lot going on, stay exactly where you are. If you would like a little bit more, walk your feet a couple of inches further back. So your shoulders are behind your elbows now. Breathe here. Pull the tummy button in and up. We're going to stay with it for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Drop your knees down. Let's all take a child's pose. Big toes touching, knees wide, forehead down. Give those arms a little rest. Tune back into your Ujjayi breath. We're moving quite a lot today. When you are ready, lifting back onto your forearms. So we're in our forearm plank once more. This time, keep your gaze forward, sort of like your thumbs, that space in between your thumbs. Walk your feet forward. So now we're in our full dolphin pose. Really think about the space in between the shoulder blades, pressing that up. Pull the tummy button in and up towards the spine. Options to stay where you are, or see if you can tap your nose sort of in between your thumbs. Give that a go. We're going to do that 5 times. So leaning forwards, give it a tap. For 4, lift back. For 3, keep breathing. For 2, last one, tap the nose forwards, lift back, dolphin. Let's drop the knees, let's take a child's pose. Give those shoulders a little break. Settle back down. Find your breath. And when you're ready, this time downward facing dog. Soften your knees. Gaze forwards, lightly as you can. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold forwards. Big toes to touch. Chair pose. I'm going to spin this way so you can see me a little bit better. Reach the arms up. Sit nice and low. I'm going to give you a few options here. So, if you like this, if you're working on your legs, we're going to all take a twist, and you can stay with that. So everyone, hands together at heart center. Twist towards your right. So this is option number one. Stay exactly where you are. Option number two, start to bend the knees so your hips come all the way down. You're in a sort of closed squat position. We're going to go for our side crow. So both hands to the floor if you're going for your side crow. And you're going to try and get your left elbow on your right knee, right elbow on your right thigh. Fingertips is spread wide. Bend through the elbows and just start to shift your weight forwards. Trust that you've got it. We're going to stay here for 3. Keep the legs where they are for today for 2. For 1, everyone meeting back in your twisted chair. Keep breathing. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, release, folding forwards. Separate your feet. Grab your big toes with your first 2 fingers. Take a halfway lift so you can bend your knees as much as you need to find that flat spine. And exhale, we fold, fold, fold forwards. Let your head hang heavy. Might feel nice to take a little sway, a little sigh. Maybe even a flutter of the lips. Inhale through the nose. Especially if you're on your own, really enjoy that. Sounds that maybe you're a little bit too shy to make when you're in a yoga studio. Do whatever you need to do right here, right now. Release the big toes. Walk your heel toe, your feet together to touch. Chair pose, bend the knees, reach up, tool. So we're going to do that same thing on this side. Know that you can go as far into this as feels good. Hands together at heart center. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twisting towards your left this time. So know that if your chair pose is something that you're really working on, strengthening the lower legs, grounding you down, stay here. If you want to take it further, bend your knees all the way down, come into this sort of closed squat. Hands come to the floor to your left side. Right elbow is to left knee, left elbow is to right thigh, to left thigh. I'm getting myself all confused. Sorry if you're still in chair pose. And then you start to lean your way forwards. Maybe your toes lift, maybe they don't. Keep the legs together for today. Stay with it for another 3. For 2. For 1, everyone meeting in your twisted chair pose. However you want to get there, don't worry about the transition. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, folding forwards. Separate out the feet and let's take a gorilla pose. Slide the whole of the palm underneath the foot. Have those toes right up on your wrist creases if you can. And feel free to have quite a bend in the knees. Maybe give the toes a little wiggle, massaging your wrists. And enjoy this sensation of a slight pull of the arms up as you press the hands down with the feet. We tend to have a lot of compression in our wrists when we do a lot of yoga because most of what we do is like pressing, chaturanga, high planks. So this is quite a nice one to release any compression that might be building up for you. Allow the breath to settle back down. Gently let go of your hands. Got a bit of a storm blowing in here today. And on an inhale, we're rolling slowly up to standing. Nice work. Everyone meeting up in a standing position. Shake anything out that you might need to. Let's take eagle pose. Right leg over left. Right arm comes under left. Focus your gaze onto one spot in front of you. Don't let your eyes move from that spot. Squeeze the thighs together. Notice what's happened to your breath as soon as you start focusing on something else. Let's unravel. Keep that right leg lifted. Transition into your tree pose. So try not to place that right foot on the floor. Start with hands together at heart center. Options to stay here or open out. Reach the arms tall. Maybe bring the gaze up towards the ceiling. See if you can stand a little bit taller in this lovely victorious strong pose. And releasing back down. Let's go straight into eagle on the left. Left leg over, left arm comes under. Again, really sink the hips low, squeeze the thighs together. And try to have your elbows at least in line with your shoulders, if not a little bit higher. Make sure you're breathing deeply here and you're soft through the face. We're going to unravel straight into a tree pose. Try not to let that left foot drop down. Start with hands together at heart center. Again, keeping your eyes focused on one spot. You can stay where you are or open up the arms. Maybe gaze lifts. Maybe even close your eyes on this side. Maybe you get a little bit wobbly. Maybe you fall all the way out of the pose. Always coming to that place of softness and not taking things too seriously. Let's release both feet down. Again, shake anything out that you might need to. Let's step to the top of the mat if you're not there already. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Pausing in your high plank. And we're going to just strengthen through the shoulders a little bit more. We have been using our shoulders a lot today, but we're really getting into our serratus muscle. So I want you to take these mini sorts of press-ups while we're just moving through the shoulders. So first of all, press the earth away, space in between the shoulder blades lifts. Then let that space sink down, squeeze shoulder blades together. Notice that your core stays stable. Press back up. Lower back down. We're going to go for this for 5. Sinking down, pressing up for 4. Sink down, squeeze the shoulder blades for 3. Keep breathing, squeeze the shoulder blades. Press up for 2. Last one, squeeze the shoulder blades together, press up. Nice work, drop the knees or keep them lifted as fast or as slow as you like. Lower all the way down onto your mat. Bring one cheek down, arms alongside you. Take a deep breath, allow your body to feel really heavy for just a moment of rest. We're going to work a little bit more and then you will be in your deep rest, Shavasana. So let's interlace fingers at the sacrum, forehead down, big toes to touch, lift up to your locust pose. Think about reaching the crown of the head forwards and the toes backwards. So we're thinking about lifting, but we're also thinking about lengthening. Reach the fingers a little bit further back. We've really used those shoulders, so stretch them out here. We're only going to take one of these today, so as you breathe in, lift it a little bit higher. And on your next exhale, let go, release, sway the hips from side to side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under. We're going to lift up into our high plank, so big breath in through the nose. As you exhale, press the earth away, high plank. Downward facing dog. Walk, step, or float through your hands. Come through seated to all the way to on your back. So we're lying flat on the mat. Legs are outstretched. Interlace your fingers underneath your head and lift your head and shoulders up off the mat. So trying to keep the legs relaxed, straight out on the floor. Lift your head and shoulders as much as you can and you'll start feeling a sensation, especially at the top of your abs here. But try not to let the tummy dome, so you're really thinking about pulling in. From here, we're going to take great big circles with our upper body. Moving slowly. So all the way around and up, and then back down. Keep breathing as you do this. And as we stay here, taking these rotations, you're going to start feeling the muscle that's right at the top of the abs. So maybe even just at that space in between your rib cage. And if you don't feel it now, I'm sure you will feel it either this evening or maybe tomorrow morning. We're going to keep going in this direction for a few more deep breaths. And then let's change direction. So going all the way the other way. Try not to take a break in between the sides. Keep the face soft. Notice if you're starting to close the elbows towards you. Keep them open. Keep reaching the center of the chest up as you lift up. We won't be here for much longer. Just see if you can stay with it. Let's take 2 more full rotations. And when you finish your 2, release your head onto the mat. Let's take a little bridge pose just to sort of find some opening. So the reverse sensation of what we've been doing using those core muscles. Feet flat to the mat, hip width apart. Press the feet down, peel the hips up, lift up. Try not to flare the rib cage open too much here. Keep pulling those, squeezing those core muscles. So always think about squeezing inwards. Think about the legs without moving them. Think about squeezing them towards each other. Breathe here. Can you lift your hips a little bit higher? Keep squeezing your glutes. And nice and slowly roll your spine along the mat. Tug both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Might feel nice to rock a little bit from side to side, massaging the lower back. Grab the underneath of your thighs and take a rock and roll. Take 1 or 2 or however many you need. We're going to take an inversion next. I'm going to do a headstand and I will talk you through it. If you are scared of headstand, maybe going up against the wall, because we've really woken up the muscles that we need for a headstand. If that's not what you're feeling like today, do your thing, shoulder stand, lift your feet up against the wall. If you want more, go for your handstand, forearm balance. So let's start setting ourselves up. Make sure you can reach opposite elbow with your fingertips and place your elbows on the floor here and try not to let them open any further apart. Interlace your fingers, making that little cocoon for your head. Place your head into that cocoon and make sure you're right on the crown of the head, so you're not on your forehead and you're not on the back of the head. You might need to fiddle around here, really find a spot that feels good. Lift up onto your toes. If you're newer to headstand, maybe today you just stay here, working on that sensation of being upside down. Maybe you walk your toes a little bit further towards you. Maybe you lift up one foot. Maybe you lift up the other foot. Maybe you try and shift your weight back so that your hips come on top of your shoulders. Maybe you pause here. If you are here and feel wobbly, just stay where you are. Or maybe you start to straighten your legs. Your choice, stay with it. Maybe your top falls off like mine. We're going to stay up. If you need a break, please take a break. I'm going to keep you here for about 30 seconds, 1 minute longer. So if you come out, take a breath, and maybe you go for it again. So it's just working with it, and know that as soon as you feel wobbly, if your feet are lifted, just stay here. It's a great place to be. If you are all the way up, staying with it for about 2 more breaths. And then with control, nice and slowly, everyone, make your way into a child's pose. If your feet are up against the wall, or if you're in something a little bit more restorative, you can take a little bit longer there. If you've been in headstand, handstand, forearm balance, just take a few breaths in your child's pose. Checking back in. Does anything feel different to when you started? And nice and slowly, we're going to make our way onto our backs. And we'll take a quick little supine twist. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Let it fall towards the left. Open the right arm out towards the right. Just 2 deep breaths on each side. When you are finished with those 2 deep breaths, let's swap sides. Hugging that left knee in. Let it fall to the right. Open the left arm out. Really let the shoulders sink. 2 nice, big, deep Ujjayi breaths. And coming back to center and straight into your Shavasana. Lying flat on your back, open up, palms face the ceiling, close the eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and let it go. Do that again, big breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead to the full body stretch. Roll onto your right side into a fetal position. And then using as little effort as possible, come up to a seated or a kneeling position. Hands together at heart center and your eyes closed. Taking a moment of stillness to close your practice and bringing to your mind something or someone that you are thankful for right now. And with that thought of gratitude in your heart, lift your thumb knuckles up to your forehead center. And together we bow forwards and say, Namaste. Thank you all very much for joining me today. Sorry it was a little bit more busy and chaotic than normal, but I hope you enjoyed the practice. Do let me know if you have any questions, any requests. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and end of your week.